parking in the entertainment district is here to stay. We seem to all agree on that, and it apparently is a good revenue source. However, there are clearly problems associated with it. Will this funding source lead to additional parking? If so, where? And what do you envision as the solution to sorting out the problems that have been identified with the current system?
Am I first on this one?
You were first on this one.
Well, it is here to stay because, as I said earlier, if we had free parking down there, campus parking is so expensive, the students would load it up just like they are over on Isla Street and around Wilson Park. They park there all day and go to campus. The same thing would happen. Downtown, we get free parking 8 to 5. So I would propose we do a simple project, like do these meters. And most people understand, yes, they may not be the prettiest thing, but what we have down there is not a workable solution. It's got to be fixed. So my plan would be to visit with a bunch of folks. I'm talking about bringing the businesses, the residents, the employees, everybody that has a dog in this fight, bring them in so we can solve all the problems, because it's not just the meters. It's not just how you pay the times and the random different times, different places. You booted here, towed there, $15 there, $70 there, 8 to 6 there, 2 to 2 there, 7 days here, 5. Crazy. It's all got to be kind of streamlined in one system. The problem that we have right now is that we're not using the paid parking program to manage parking. We're using the paid parking program to make money. And that's a whole different can of worms. And it makes a lot of money. And I don't think that money is good to take out of the patrons' pockets and stuff into the bank here at City Hall. I think that's counterproductive. I would propose that we go down to like 50 cents an hour instead of $1 an hour, 8 to 5. Yes, we're not going to make as much money. We're going to leave the money in the pockets of the people who want to go down to Dixon Street, have a beer, go to a play, have a good time. And when they're down there, they're not having to worry about whether they're going to get towed or booted or ticketed. That's got to be solved. So once we do that, we'll be able to, it'll take a while because it's taken 2 years to get the reputation of people not coming down to Dixon Street like they used to, the reputation of being very unwelcoming. We'll have to rebuild that reputation. And it's going to take more than 2 years to rebuild what we used to have down there. But it's got to be done. We've got to add more parking. The best way to do that is to develop the parking that we've already had. It's already paid for, it already exists. Why not go ahead and use the existing decks that we had downtown that are virtually unused after dark, some of them are very underutilized. Instead of spending $10 million on this parking garage, use some of that to put new sidewalks in with street lights, make downtown more walkable. Maybe get an electric shuttle like they have at Crystal Bridges where you can hop on, hop off. Access to these parking lots, free ride, fun, to where when you go down to Dixon Street, you can come down to one of these downtown restaurants, have a good meal, pop on a thing, go down and have a beer, go have a play afterwards, and the whole downtown becomes one single, vibrant, interesting, fun, laid-back downtown again, like it needs to be.
Would you repeat that question?
Yeah, we agree that paid parking in the entertainment district is here to stay and has become a good revenue source. But it is also agreed that there are problems with the current system. What do you envision as possibilities for increasing parking in the future, where, and solving the current problems?
Well, what I'm hearing right now is not so much the paid parking program of the city, but more of the private lot owners. 90% of the complaints that I've heard over the last year have come from private lot owners. Not the city lots, because the city does not boot and they don't tow unless they're parked someplace in somebody's driveway or something. We don't boot, we don't tow. So when you get towing, that's from the private lot owners. Right now, we're in negotiations, and have been for the last few years, to see if we can come to some sort of solution where the city and the private lot owners can work together. But right now, we're at odds, and we have been, not at odds, but we've been trying to come to some sort of agreement since 2009. I believe we're going to get there. I mean, and as far as a meter at every place, right now, if you go into a restaurant, you know, the kiosks that we have, you can sit at a restaurant a block away and use a telephone and and renew the money, or where you pay to park. The payment from a restaurant. It's very simple, it's very easy. It's the same sort of kiosks that the University of Arkansas uses. Anybody can work them. I had gone down there was late, and I never worked one before. I walked up there and said, I'm having trouble working this kiosk, and it was very simple. We just went through the steps just like we do at the university. It's very easy. There's solar power. And after the 6 months of public input, then what they basically said was, this is what the people want. They don't want a meter at every space. We did the downtown Dixie Street improvement. One thing that they did not want was a meter in every space. Now, I don't know how we're going to end the confusion if you have some of them with coins and then some of them with credit cards, one a kiosk and then a meter in every space. That seems like that adds to the confusion. Do you need to work with the private lot owners? Well, we have this system in place. Now, if you shut this system down and you start all over again, you have basically spent $1 million of taxpayers' money to buy the equipment, then that's still going to be painful. We're working out the kinks. We've made adjustments to it. Was it a perfect plan? Probably not. But we continue on with it, and we will get the job done. And things are going fine, and we are working with the private lot owners. It does take some adjustment, but I think we're doing well.
Yeah, I'm working for 3 years to negotiate a deal with lot owners. I'm not optimistic it's going to happen anytime soon. One of the problems we have down there is that there's almost an age discrimination. Yes, young people are texting and cell phones. I mean, for a 20-year-old, it's a piece of cake to pay by phone. But not everybody goes down there. Now they're all 20, because the older you are, from my anecdotal observation, the less likely you are to go down there and screw with those machines. They don't always work. Sometimes you put a 5 in there and you get some money back and it takes your whole 5 or 20, or different situations like that. That system has to be completely reinvented. Yes, it'll be confusing, but the only thing worse than that is leaving it as it is.
Well, Mr. Cootie had 8 years to work on working out something with the private lot owners. I know you can go back to the history if you look at the timeline, and Sharon Waters will provide that with you. He tried to work out the situation with the private lot owners, and he tried for 8 years and couldn't get anything done. I should have at least another 5 to work on it.